Happy Wednesday afternoon. It's 2 o'clock and I'm live, and today I have a whole bunch of scrapbook pages to show you. I promise I'll be moving back into cards again in the next week or two, but I just cannot get enough of scrapbooking at the moment now that I have all these fun papers to work with. And so, hi Kelly. I also have a little drawing for a prize. I have my special cup out. But first I want to talk about fresh paint. I decided to do the drawing in the middle because I want to show you some layouts I did with fresh paint, and then I want to do the drawing, and then I have a whole bunch of pages I made for the album retreat that I want to share, and that way you know, you can skip to different sections if you're rewatching this later. Fresh paint is a bright, colorful, lots of fun papers, and it's, in some ways I was kind of like, gosh, what do you do with all that color? Because you know, there's not very many resting colors on there. Everything is bright, bold, vivid, lots of stuff. And so I think that to use it the best way, you need to break it up a little bit. This is the sticker sheet. I used the sticker sheet, and I used this stamp set, the Fresh Paint Scrapbooking stamp set. And I had a few stickers left at the end. Let me just put that aside. I just wanted to show you the papers again. There's this really bright orange and yellow spray. The back of that is the only, what I would call a neutral of this kit, a drippy blue. The chalkboard looking black and white. The checkerboard black and white, you know, like Vans. The bright graffiti hearts, and the back of the graffiti hearts is this splatter spray paint, splatter paint looking design, which I love. So it has a lot of really great papers in it. And so this is number one. So what I did here is I started with a white base, and I used a pen to draw around the edge. Now you'll notice I'm using a lot of black drawing around the edges lately. This blue in the background is just sponged on using, you know, a sponge and ink. I also did some splatter in the corners, and I did a little sponging over here with some splatters also. The splatters is just done using the ink pad. You know, if you squish it and get water in the lid, or get ink in the lid, and then just use a water brush, you can turn it into a watercolor that you can tap onto your page. So that's where the splatters came from. And then you'll notice there's just strips of orange and strips of yellow cardstock along with the bold bright colors, and then it's broken up a little with using white photo mats, because that way you get a little rest from a busy picture too. So then the other tip, which I've shown you a million times, but just so you know, I like to put some things up on pop dots, and I just don't take the back off of the pop dot at the very top, and that way my photo will slide right in like that. So that way when I add my pictures, these are the little acrylic shapes. I love that they're just sort of, you know, generic shapes. And then here is another solid of yellow, a solid of red. Now this blue piece right here I should probably just show you that technique on a future, maybe this month I'll show some cool ink techniques, because that was sort of the feature of the album retreat, and it is really fun to like learn different things that you can do so that, you know, your ink pads serve dual purpose. You don't have to buy a bunch of extra stuff. So that was done using water and ink. So there you go. More sponging and splattering and stickers. So I love that, right? Love that page. Okay. Next page. Next layout is this one. Let me move it over a little so you can see it. I feel like my camera is just a little too close. Let me move it up a little bit and see. Sorry, I'm gonna get you all dizzy. I just want you to be able to see the whole thing. Okay, so this layout is, the background is that drippy blue paper, and I used it on both sheets. So it's kind of subtle in the background, but it looks really neat. And then using the bold bright prints in a smaller way. So here is a strip of that black and white, a strip of the other side of the black and white with the chalkboard look, and then some cardstock to make it a little more solid. And I really love using that stamp that looks like drips, and can put either journaling here or a small photo. Love this right here. You know what I was thinking would be really cool with this? I have a lot of photos of where we've gone to, like the county fair. I think this would look really neat on here. We also have some photos of some concerts we've attended. I think that would look really nice on here. The other thing that's kind of cool is we, you know, here in town we have that statue park, and I like to take pictures of the different statues, and I thought, wow, this would be a really neat paper pack to use to make like a mini album or to do the statues. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. This is also reminds me of some of the foodie trips we've taken where we've gone somewhere really neat to eat, somewhere unique. Those would be really nice on those. These are zip strips from the set. I just think that looks really neat. Love it. And see, I used the white gel pen around that orange paper. It just adds a little more, so you'll see I've been doing a lot of line drawing lately. Okay, so this 2-page set is a little busier, but wouldn't this be really neat as school, if you have kids that have school pictures, or you know, if you're outside playing basketball, you know how kids are outside all the time, you just snap a few photos, skateboarding, basketball, baseball, whatever. This is a really cool page for that, because it has small photos, and you know, a lot of those are where you have more of a little bit of a distance, so people are smaller, you can cut your photos down. So this uses a lot of the stamp set and stickers. These are zip strips that are made to look kind of like washi. This is a sticker sheet from the sticker sheet, and then the acrylic shapes, some tearing of the paper of the cardstock. See, you can see that in the background it's got black cardstock, the Capri cardstock, yellow and orange cardstock. So this is one of those paper packs that if you use it, I recommend getting the cardstock with it so that you have something that coordinates, and you can really make your paper go far that way too. On this side, just sort of a continuation, you know, of the cardstocks, had that really busy paint splatter paper in the background, but I love it. I love all the colors in it. And then a place for either another photo or some journaling right here. The So Rad is from that stamp set, one of the stamps. I just think this is really neat. Now, if you like this and you are purchasing this set and you want to be able to duplicate these particular layouts right here, you could do it with just stamps. You don't have to have all the, I mean, just stickers. You don't have to have all the stamps if you don't want to do it that way. But I really do like that stamp set. But you don't have to do it. You can use anything in your stash that's sort of a generic look. Like that's a stamp, that's a stamp. You probably have stars in your stash somewhere of stamps. And even some of these words, I just write stuff in if I don't have the stamp for it. Excuse me, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. I just came in from outside and my neighbor is stirring up all kinds of stuff in his yard. Now I'm like, whoo, allergies. Okay. The other thought I had was it would be really fun to add some of the PML cards to this. They really do add like to your title or to your pages. Anyway, if you like this and you want this, thank you, Kelly. I have the workshop instructions for this that I can send to you. So just message me and I will get this to you, because then you can repeat it. And technically, I mean, it looks to me like you could do this with any paper pack. This is not just for this one. I should try to duplicate it using the Tutti Frutti and just see how it turns out, because I think the Tutti Frutti is the same kind of way where it has some, you know, it has some busy papers. I may just duplicate these and just see how that works. All right, so there is my fresh paint that I have right now. The other thing on fresh paint that I want to show you, okay, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek. If you don't want to see a sneak peek, I apologize. But for my Hostess Club, this is part of our layout this month. And I just wanted to show you some lettering. I stamped directly onto the page, and you can see that it is just white cardstock that I have spattered. And I did some stamps, because I told you I love that stamp set, and some acrylic shapes. This right here is a alphabet set called the brush marker, and then this is a stitched alphabet. And if you look really close, you can see the black outline has little stitch lines, and then you stamp it with a solid on the inside. So it's two stamps. That way you can do the outline in one color and the inside in another. And what I'm doing, it's taking me a while, but basically I just take my pen and I'm outlining the brush marker. Now you can see it doesn't have to be perfect. I am not perfect at tracing this, right? And I'm just going to do one word so that you can see how I'm doing this. So I basically just sort of outline it with a smaller pen, and then I took a thicker pen. This is my acid-free Sharpie, and I am going on the bottom and the side. So bottom and the side, bottom and the side. So on the left side of every letter, bottom, left side, bottom, bottom. There. Now, I want you to see the difference that makes. So what that does with that marker on there, I'm so shaky, sorry. It adds some dimension to these letters that it doesn't have just stamping alone. And so you may love it, you may hate it, but this is what I'm doing. And I have to apologize, Kelly. I know there's a couple of people in my group that like to put their pages together themselves, but this month I did so much stamping. I couldn't figure out a way to make it so that everybody could do their own thing. Because all of this is stamped directly onto the page. These I could have sent separate, but these things you would have had to own the set. This is a stamp. Anyway, so there's your sneak peek. Not going to show you page 2, but I wanted to show you how I did those letters because, oh my gosh, I think they turned out really cool. Okay. What I have right here is a pack from National Scrapbook Day called A Toast to You. It is one of the classic card classes. Comes with all these sequins. It comes with the stamp set. It comes with the papers and cardstock, the card bases and envelopes. This stamp set is so adorable. It's got lots of like puns. You're a big dill. I love it. A toast to you. Hey cutie pie. Anyway, so here's the deal. In the month of March, I won a sales award, and it wasn't just a small sales award. It was a big sales award. I also got a promotion in Close to My Heart, which is a big deal for me. In Close to My Heartland, you know, they have things that you can strive for, goals that you can strive for. And I hit it and some. And I was so excited. And I know that, you know, I've been doing this for like 25 years, and this was my highest sales month ever, which is a lot, because when I very first started doing Close to My Heart back in the 90s, I was really a high seller. I was selling for a while. I was selling like 2,000 plus per month. It was almost a full-time job, and I already had a full-time job, so I backed off and made it more of a hobby. But this month I surpassed all of that, and it is because of you. It's because of you. I did not do anything different than I normally do. I just know that I know Close to My Heart has some pretty amazing things, and you guys must have loved them, and my sales were really high, and my title increased, and I owe it all to you. So this month, what I did, I got out my drawing mug, my Lego mug, and I added everybody's name who ordered in March. At least everybody who ordered got their name in at least once. And then if you ordered $50 or pretty close, I put your name in again. So if you ordered at all, you have your name in here once. If you ordered close to 50 or right at 50, you got your name again. If you ordered 100, you got your name in again. So there are some people in here who spent some real money, and they have their names in here multiple times. And then there's some people who ordered more than once. They have their name in more than once. And so I'm going to draw a name for the Toast to You National Scrapbook Day Workshop Kit. Now, if I draw your name and you have already purchased it, do not despair. I'm not going to make you take a second one. I will work with you, don't worry. But this is one of my favorite National Scrapbook Day kits. And so I'm going to shake them up again. I've been stirring them for a while, and I'm going to draw out a name for the winner. All right, who's it gonna be? Denise Marks. Denise, congratulations on winning. A toast to you. I'm so happy for you. I promise I'll get that to you. The National Scrapbook Day event is coming up, like, I want to say this weekend, and it is several days of different classes, and this toast to you is this weekend for sure. So I will get that to Denise. Yay! Thank you. I want to thank everybody because, my gosh, even the smallest orders bumped me up, and it just makes me feel so happy. I know you guys can order from anywhere or anyone. There's a lot of close to my heart people out there, and so I just want you to know how much I appreciate that. I mean, really, I really do. Okay. Album Retreat. Let's talk about Album Retreat. This, I know, I talk about it a lot and it's ridiculously expensive, okay? I get it. I understand. And I want you to know I don't expect everybody to dole out the money for Album Retreat, but some of the cool techniques that they showed are definitely worth learning. And so I will probably spend at least one live this month or next, probably this month, going through some of the inking techniques that they showed in Album Retreat. Now, I know it's pricey, it's like $250, but I look at what I got. I mean, I came out of this with basically a full album full of pages and finished pages, almost all of them, because I actually even put photos in most of them. I can't believe I got to the photos. And I split this up into a lot of different things. I've been working a lot on Disney lately, and so, God, I didn't want y'all to get sick of Disney, so I didn't do them all Disney, but I did a lot Disney. So this is the first page, and you'll see it has like a cool border. It has this cricket cut in the middle, stenciling around the outside. And then what I did, I put this picture of Steve eating. One of the big things that we do at Disney is eat at different places all the time. Otherwise, my husband would be so unhappy. He's such a foodie. And one of the things they gave us in Album Retreat was a set of black acrylic alphabet letters, so you could put any title on here that you wanted. A lot of people changed this up, and they did titles at the bottom and the top both, and so I just basically started writing down all the different places that we ate around the edges. And then on this page, I have photos of the food and Cat Cora's place. And my husband ordered something so weird at the Cat Cora restaurant on this trip that he had to call the waitress for help on how to eat it. He wasn't sure how to eat it. And they were so excited that he ordered it that the manager, the chef, and the waitress all came out to the table, and they were like practically sitting at our table watching him eat this food because they were so, almost no one orders it. It was such an unusual dish. It was some kind of salmon, raw salmon dish or something. And oh my gosh, they were so excited to see his reaction. It was funny. Anyway, so in the middle is a shaker, and you can see there are the white pen marks around the circle, and there's a little die cut on the inside. So that's really neat. Sorry, my shaker, I don't want to like make you dizzy trying to shake that, but it is really cool, filled with sequins. And you can see during the Album Retreat what they gave us. They gave us lots of cardstock, lots of cutouts, a stamp set that we used, lettering. They gave us a bag of arrows. I think that page is really cute. Here is the next one. So this one is an inking technique. You can see the ink across the back, making the background. And then we used an alphabet set to make a title. I changed up the title. Well, I can't remember what the title was on this initially. But lots of circles, making the cool border. And the little acrylic shapes and stamps. And this is just, and look at the colors on this, and I used fall pictures. I thought that was weird. I was like, well, there's orange in the background and there's orange in my pictures. Hey, it all goes. And so this was my dog in the fall, and I loved cutting out that little, this is that camera from the PML cards that we just cut out. So using PML cards on a page, and I just thought that was a really fun page that we did. One of the stamps that came on the stamp set they gave us is these little asterisk stars, whatever, and I just love them. I love them. I need to figure out a way to just leave these out on my stamp table all the time and use them on everything because I really love them so much. Okay. Next page. Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie's dying to work on her album retreat. I know you are. So this one was one where I was like, I don't think so. I don't think this is my style. But I did it anyway. And now that it's done, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. It's not my style, but I love that they had me do something out of my box, something I wouldn't normally do. I'm normally so linear. This is my style. This is not. But I love it. So black page as a background, the pink in the middle, and they showed you how to gut the pages so that you could save your cardstock, but I didn't. I like the sturdiness of the pages. I don't care if my pages, if I use extra cardstock or if my albums are really thick. I just don't care. I love them. I already have a ridiculous number of albums in my stash anyway, so all these little rectangles, if you look really close, they're distressed on the edges, scissor distressed, and it made each of the edges kind of a little bumpy and rough, which made it really cool. They gave us a roll of the rose gold shimmer trim, and so we used it kind of patchy here and there. I love it on this page where it's used like washi tape. And then there's the tag tops, and then more of those rectangles that are scissor distressed, and a title. Love it. It turned out great. And this is another one where I think yard pictures out, anything with green, I think would look amazing. Anything outdoorsy or Mother's Day, or I don't know. I think this is generic enough to use for anything. And so I even had some prom pictures I thought might work on that. But so that's why there's no pictures on it, because I haven't decided for sure what I'm going to use that for. My favorite of the entire thing is this one right here. It is just so beautiful and so bold and so pretty. I just can't even stress enough that this is just cardstock. There's not even any pattern paper on this, and it's ink techniques and stamping, and I think maybe, I don't want to take away from the people who paid for the album retreat, but I really feel like people need to learn how to do this technique. This is gorgeous, and the colors on this are so spectacular. And I was going to put Disney pictures on here. And one of the thing in the stars, in the star set, they have this style of star. Can you see that? It's like what do you call those? They're almost like 1950s, 60s style little stars or whatever. And to me, I think of them as Disney stars because that you see those at Disney in a lot of backgrounds and twinklies. Anyway, so these come in the star set and I have a whole bunch of them left. And I thought I'm gonna doll up some of these pages using the cool stars and add my Disney photos to some of these. This would be a really cool one to see, to have the characters, Mickey and Minnie and Goofy. I just think that's really neat. And the other thing they gave us was some, this is glitter paper, not the shimmer trim. This is just the wild berry glitter paper, and it's cut down into a strip that made it look like it was a sheet of, or a roll of the shimmer. I just love it. Okay, next, another one without photos, but I have a plan for this one. I have some bowling pictures that I want to put on this. This reminds me of a bowling alley. Do not ask me why. I don't know if it's the colors or the decoration where it kind of goes around in like a big half circles, or if it's the diamonds. Or maybe it's just that our bowling alley needs updated and it is in the old colors. I don't know. But this is pretty cool. And I love one of the things that they did was they took a lot of colors that I would never put together and they put them together and they turned out so nice. Like I would not put this kind of, is it nectarine or Sundance? I think it's Sundance yellow with a turquoise and a sage color. I just would not put those together, but they did, and it turned out really nice. And the rose gold on it, the rose gold accents on it look really nice. I kind of screwed up my, I did my page a little differently than what they showed because I kind of screwed it up. But one of the people who finished the album retreat, maybe they can show you their finished pages. Stephanie, Anna, Pam, Denise, everybody has a tendency to sort of change up their pages a little bit. And I don't know, just love it. Love it. I really like, they did a lot of stenciling with ink too, and I really like how that looks right there. Okay. Next, this is the page that I think they like the most. This was one that they were really jazzed about, and it turned out so beautiful, but it was work. So you can see that there are strips of color all along, basically a white cardstock background with strips of color, and then we scissor distressed the edges of everything, which I didn't do the scissor distressing on this paper or this paper, or even all the way on this top paper, because those papers are so thin compared to cardstock, and I just didn't think it was that noticeable in the scheme of things. If you really scissor distress the cardstock, it's very obvious, makes it pop out. I love this. It's beautiful. I'm not sure what picture I want to put on it yet. So, plain. And then on this page, sort of the same thing. Stripes only going down, and they're dovetailed at the bottom, and they're scissor distressed. So I only really scissor distressed where I thought it would show, because it takes a little bit of time to do that. They gave us the pieces to make the title. They gave us a pack of sequins and the shimmer trim. Really pretty. I like it. So, and you know, that uses that full bloom paper. I don't know. It's really pretty. It doesn't look like In Full Bloom though. I love it. Okay, next. Here is this one. This one was really fun. This one was super fun because for the ink, we basically started with a white background, matted it on the Sundance color. If I had to do it over, I might have matted it on a different color. I don't know. Sundance is not my favorite color, but it looks nice on here. I just might have chosen a different color cardstock for the border. But basically, the stamp set had these cool flowers, and we had punch outs, and we made this cool bow along the bottom, used a zip strip along the bottom, and then this technique right here, this particular stamp set is kind of like that stitched one I showed where there's an outline and there's a solid, and here we just used the solid of the stamp set, and it said let the fun begin. Look at mine, it goes downhill. They did this whole thing where, you know, it's like, let's make a pencil border, let's use a ruler, let's make it all perfect. And I'm like, I'll be fine. And then I'm like, right downhill. But I don't think it's that noticeable. And I think when you're flipping through a book, it's, you know, it's the Album Retreat. Is it too late to order? I can't believe I'm saying this, but this one's sold out. I cannot believe I'm saying that, because the last Album Retreat, I know there were over 800 and they had a few left at the end. This one, they made more. I think it was over 1,000, and they completely sold out. The next Album Retreat is November, and I am not missing it. I am not missing it. The last November one was amazing. It was Christmas themed. Oh, it was gorgeous. Now, they change up their theme every time, and it's a surprise to some degree. But now that they're opening them up to the public, they're starting to show the pages in advance. So I promise I will bring this to your attention. Start saving your pennies. It's not cheap. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful, and you get a lot of stuff. So I use this one for concerts. I featured the Virginia Theater here in town, which is one of those really old, beautiful, restored theaters. If you've never been, if you've been, you know what I'm talking about. And we went one night, we saw a comedian, and then this guy was playing on the Wurlitzer organ. You know, these are the kind of things that you do during the class that you're like, oh, what an idiot. And you know it forever and ever, and someone else may never see it. That's right. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself. But I do love how this looks. Again, I would never, ever have put Sundance with this, and this paper. I would just not have done it. And then with pink, I'm like, no. I would not have even dreamed that these colors went together. And look how cool that turned out. That's a really neat page. I love it. I'm very proud of it. So, ta-da. Okay, this one was really fun. This one was a blast. What's really neat about this is, again, white cardstock background, and yes, there's some pattern paper in the back, and again, weird, the polka dots from the birthday set and the flowers from the Full Bloom set. Who would have put those together? This green stripe is from In Full Bloom, but this is all white cardstock, and look how cool this turned out. You guys, this was so fun. This technique, I feel like I could use it 1,000 times in 1,000 ways, and my book still would look fresh and different. And so I'm this one, I don't know, I'm excited about it. I like this. I really liked this technique. Now I added a flip flap because I wanted to do some of my Epcot pictures. See, these are like Spaceship Earth. We splurged for the photo package that had all the little doodads that they added. You know how sometimes you hold your hands a certain way and then they make it look like you're holding something or whatever. We did that on this trip, this one. And then I normally do not put the journaling strips on during the class, but I did. And I almost found that I wished I had more. I was really surprised that I filled those up. So this is really cool. Again, this is not shimmer trim. This is that glitter paper cut into strips. And you know, the glitter paper's nice. It's not that kind that rubs off. You know, I appreciate that. And I added another flip flap to that. I love it when there's pages that look really nice that you can add extra photos to without messing up your decoration. I mean, look, you know, I do not want to mess this up. This was cool. And you don't want to cover up the cool stuff. And then I think they used a different stamp set to stamp around this, and I used this one because it looks like Disney, that little star shape, whatever that is. So there's my Disney pictures. Now the other thing, they came with extra 4x6 pieces, and it came with an extra sheet like this that you can, I didn't do all of like this one right here is decorated, you know, obviously it has a strip, has this scallop. There were other decorations for these other ones. I just did not do it because I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, so I just sort of shoved everything in there. Okay. Next. Hooray! I was not going to stamp this title because hooray for today. What on earth was I going to use it for? I just finished a ton of birthday layouts using that party time pack from last catalog. And so I was kind of like, I don't really have any birthday photos left for a while. But this worked out great using it for Disney. I used some of those funky stars again, and I just had these sort of random photos of some of the characters that we ran into through the park. And since they were all women and some princesses or whatever, I just thought that was neat. We also did another shaker. So we had 2 shakers in this one, and I really love the pink sequins in that. Wildberry was a theme because, you know, it was a thing last month. So and I love the stamp sets. Happy, happy, happy. Isn't that cool? And there really wasn't much of a story to tell with these pictures because basically, other than who they are, these are the people we ran into in the park, right? So I love how this turned out though. It's kind of a fun princessy looking page. I mean, just even if you had all boys, if you ran into the princesses in the parks, this would be a good one. I think this one would be great for birthdays and other celebrations too. Okay. This one is surprisingly one of my favorites. When I first did it, I thought it's so different from the others. It's got this kind of peachy background. It had a lot of peachy stenciling. It added Sundance and Wildberry and peach to like a flamingo-y color. I just didn't think this was gonna go together. And then it did, and I love how it looks. So you can see strips of the glitter paper, the shimmer trim, and lots of stamping and inking on it. And my pictures of walking the dog at night and taking pictures of the sky at night, you know, as the sun goes down and how beautiful it is, really worked with this. And so I only had like 3 or 4 pictures of this. It's not like I had a whole bunch, so this worked out perfect. Now, this page was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares. The 9th square was a decorative square, and I just put my pictures on top of it. I think it turned out just fine, but technically this was one of those grid style. They do one of those in almost every album I've seen. Okay, is this the last one? Yes! Ta-da! Now this one, Sunny Day. This one is probably the most altered one that I have seen from people who have posted their finished layouts, because people did not like the words Sunny Day. They changed it to everything under everything. And so, you know, party time or picnic or somebody's name or whatever. So they changed up the title a lot. Now, when I looked at this one, it was too pink for me. It was too light. I needed something colorful. And when we went to Universal, they had these like displays where you could stand in front of them and do crazy things and take your picture. And so I had my, I can't believe I'm showing you these, but I had my picture taken in the wave on a surfboard. And so I had these crazy pictures, and I've never known what to do with them. I've actually already done all of my other Universal pictures, but those, I just didn't know what to do with them. This is perfect. I love how this looks. I love how there's an ombre effect to the alphabets. That's really neat. And that's another technique. So a lot of inks, a lot of cool effects. This background where it has like the little, I think they're flowers. It might be little, yeah, they're little yellow flowers. They look like suns, but that is from one of the mix-in packs. This is an overlay. These we made from scratch, from white cardstock, which means you could truly make any title you want that way. There's layering to do the photo area. There's wildberry and flamingo and more pen work and lots of stencils and acrylic shapes. So cool. So cool. You guys, this was a fun class, and I feel like I ended up with some really special pages, and I don't know. Do you guys have a favorite? I just think this is really neat. Like I said, I don't want to take away from anybody who paid for the album retreat, but I do think it's probably worth learning a couple of these techniques so that you can add them to your page. So I don't think I'm going to show them all, because that is mean to the people who actually paid to take the class, but I may show this one because I really do think that boy, that one's just stunning. The color in it is bright. It kind of goes with the fresh paint. Actually, it kind of goes with both of the sets. You could use it with anything, couldn't you? I just love this. Before this one or the moose one. Oh yeah. Best date. Yeah. That's my favorite too, Kelly. I love it. I love it so much. I ended up really liking this one a lot, and I kind of regretted gluing the title on before I saw what everybody else was doing, because there are some really neat ideas for this title, and but it turned out great for what I used it for. Okay, that is it today. I feel like I need a big drink or something now. I'm getting hoarse. Congratulations to Denise for winning the drawing, and I'll get that to you very soon. And thank you guys for tuning in and supporting me. I appreciate it very much. You have no idea. See you later. Have a good afternoon.